南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛。We pay homage to our respected teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, tonight is my most favorite picture. This picture. A long and straight road. It's not a long and winding road. Okay, it's a long and straight road. I remember, I don't know. Maybe if you're in my era, in my generation, you probably heard the song called "A Long and Winding Road." A long and winding road, right? So if you're not in my generation, you probably haven't heard that before. But this is a long and straight road. Okay, so come on, everybody. You see this? You see this picture. So what do you see? What do you see this picture? Okay, Versha, come on. So you unmute everybody so they mute themselves. And so they unmute themselves. Just look at the picture. Just tell me what you think about the picture first, okay? There you go, Versha. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself. Oops. There you go. Good.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, very well.
So I really like the order of the trees. I like patterns, and I like the kind of organization of them. It makes me feel when things are in order like that, there's less chaos. So I always
in control.
Patterned organization.
In control. Very much in control. Right? Is that what you like?
I also find it just very beautiful. Like when I do pictures or take photographs, I like the patterns. I find that very appealing.
Good.
Well.
Okay. Good. So anybody else? Laurie.
The very first thing I see when I see this is the disappearing horizon, and so not knowing what's at the end of the road is what I think of.
Yeah, not knowing at the end of the road, disappearing horizon. It could be a very vast horizon, but it could be a very narrow horizon too. Nobody knows, right? Yeah, and isn't that a depiction of our life? It absolutely is, right? Absolutely is, yes. Okay, anybody else? That's great. Jeremy, yeah, unmute yourself, Jeremy, yes.
So what jumps to me is that it's so direct and straight.
Yeah.
But like Carrie said, it's also unknown. Like you can't see the end, so it's like a path, but the end is unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So to me, it's almost a contrast because it's direct. It's
but unknown.
On the way.
Yeah.
But it's still unknown.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah. Great, good. Anybody else? Unmute. Okay, Catherine. Yes.
The road, even though this is a straight road,
yes.
This is not a long and winding road.
No.
But still, it's hard for us to get to the end.
Okay.
And sometimes we drop out because, you know why? Because we're all covered with dust. So little dust, much dust, right? That's because of our, the greed, anger, ignorance.
Yeah.
Our laziness, most important.
Yeah, the lazy.
So even though it's a strict road, it's just our path is right there and it's boundless.
Yeah.
But then still we can't get there yet.
Yeah, great, thank you. Catherine Cameron. Yeah, we need to focus. Good. Yes, great.
With the road shows that it starts in one path, but there's two paths that you can take because of the divided road.
Ah,
So
very good.
really, okay, so we have to make some choices along the way.
Yes, yes, very, very much our life, isn't it? It's very much in our life is a certain spot we need to make choices, right? And yeah, very good observation. And actually, this is wonderful observation. Yeah, it's a two-way road, isn't it? It's not a one-way road, isn't it? Yeah, from widening to narrowing, or from not narrowing, coming from the mountain to here. Yeah, wonderful. Good. Thank you, Catherine. Ivy. Ivy. Where is Ivy? Yes, okay.
I'm quite positive for that even as you cannot see the ending, but you can see the road. When you follow the road, walking slowly,
Yeah,
you will get the end, but just take time.
yeah.
You can take a rest, but cannot take too long.
Yeah, take a rest, but don't take too long.
Yeah, and then I feel great because I have seafood here, always directing us, and then I'm so happy. I'm happy to see that there's the road there.
Yeah.
I can go.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, that's the road there. As long as there is a path, we can still, we can go on it. And even though if there is no path, we can create a path ourselves. Isn't it? Right? If there is really no road, we can actually make a path ourselves. Like a lot of trails in the mountain, in the forest, are created by people. Yeah? But so, great, good. Anybody else? Just put up your hand. If you don't, okay, Nora Bachelor, and then Marla. Nora.
Hi. I was going to say that it's, to me, it looks very peaceful. There's not a lot of traffic on it, and looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah, there is actually, I think at the end there is one little car there. Yeah, there's not a lot of traffic at that time when I took this picture. Yeah. I jumped out of the car because I look at the sky and I look at the trees and said, wow, so pretty. So I parked on the side, jumped out of the car, and then stood in the center of the road and took that picture. Good thing that I wasn't run down by any car or tractor. Thank you, Nora. Is that all, Nora?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, you teach us very clearly what we're supposed to do, what the path is.
Yes,
We just have to follow.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Mala.
Yes, I'm going to be totally different, but when I first viewed the photo, I felt uplifted by the calm of the season, that introspective season of fall. But I feel as though the clouds above are harboring just uncertainty and a bit of ominous feeling.
Yes.
And a very, very dark mountain ahead as well.
Yeah.
But overall, it's got so much going on.
Yes.
It's a beautiful photo.
Yeah. And anybody feel that is kind of loneliness there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, loneliness, sort of like very lonely, and or alone. Not really lonely, but alone. Really alone there. And it's really just like us walking on the path. We may have a lot of Dharma brothers, sisters. We may have a lot of sifus, or in some of the places you go to, or monasteries, or temples, or retreat centers, you may be with hundreds of people, or even thousands of people. But we are all alone there, actually. Actually, those are all outside people outside of our own existence. It's just, they are the outside world. They are the outside world, but within our own world, it's just ourselves there. And then so finding refuge from the outside, trying to find refuge from the outside world is really insecure, very insecure. And it's actually a wrong path, going down a wrong path. And only relying on this inner wisdom and compassion, the qualities of Nibbana, the qualities of enlightenment, is really the only refuge. And that is the safest refuge. And I mean, that's what I feel tonight when I look at this. This is another, feeling when I look at this picture, even though I have looked at it many, many times. But this is how I feel tonight. Is the refuge onto your own Buddha nature, and not to relying on the outside. And even though you may be very overpowered by many people outside you, or you may be very attracted by this glamorous world, busy, buzzing world, but still, there is only you there. This really, you are all alone. And whatever difficulties that you're going through, you are the master on how to deal with it. No matter how much support you get from others, it's really just support, or whatever. But the only person who can really master over it is really ourselves. That's how I see it tonight. It's strange that thought just come up. When I think it's actually Mala sort of spark up that, ignited my thought in there, just like that. Anybody here? Anything? I mean, here? Anything? No? Okay. Oh, Irene, yes.
Okay, when I see the picture, it's just based on my thought and perception.
Yeah.
And then based on how I feel.
Yeah.
The thought that I have at this moment, maybe seeing straight line, it's just from my perceptions.
Yeah.
Is it really a straight line? We don't know.
Yeah.
It's coming up from our thoughts, right? When
Yeah.
the thoughts arise,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. It's
So
our
the next
interpretation,
moment,
yes.
coming
Yeah.
up will be different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's our interpretation of our perception. Yeah, of what we see through the eyes and what we hear through the ears. So never trust them. I tell you, never trust them. Especially the mind. Don't trust that mind. It's very tricky. It can lead us down the wrong path very easily. Very, very easily. Good. Okay, anybody else? Yeah, my phone? Yes.
Have confidence.
Confidence.
Confidence
Yes.
to drive.
Oh, to strive. Confidence to strive. Confidence to go on. Yes, good. Right? Straightforward, and confidence, faith to strive on. Yeah, good. And then the very clear road to drive on. Somebody else? Huh? Mali? Yes. Is it Mali? Okay, Mali. There you go. Yes.
Hi, Sifu. I really like the way you taken the tree-lined path. It's beautiful the way that you've sort of taken that picture, and then it ends up in like a sleeping giant
Yeah,
far away, and then you have these gray clouds and white and gray,
yeah,
but then there is light in the field.
yes, very bright.
Spotted light.
Yeah,
So there's a contrast of feeling and also the nature, how it makes it very peaceful as well as very artistic too.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, it really depends on how we perceive this picture. Some people perceive the dark mountain to be a lot of unknown and very scary. But when we start to reflect on our own life, that's the same with our life. Is sometimes we are in dark places, and we don't know when we are going to come out from that dark places. Are we ever going to come out from those dark places? I think you all have experienced that maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times, or maybe many times, right? I have experienced that. When I was in dark places, I thought I would never be able to come out. And then when I am in bright places, I hope that those brightness could go on forever. But sorry, it doesn't. So it's just a reflection of how our life is in this picture. It's so rich, even though such a simple picture, but it's so many messages and so carrying so many messages. Yeah, that's why this is my most favorite picture, because every time I see it, it's actually very, very different perception. Yeah, great, it's good. So no more sharing with this picture, then we go on to the passage. All right? Oh, okay, Feng King. Yes.
师父,
Yes.
When I picture again,
Yeah.
I feel very comfortable and safe.
Ah.
Because clear. Why is it so clear? In particular, it's because of the trees, the line of trees.
Yeah.
By the side, we see through everything.
Yeah.
For me, there's nothing in the hiding. So that's why I say, and I love the trees without the leaves, because for me, it's kind of the true nature, the inner nature of, well, the original face without the leaves. Well, for me, it's free of burden, lots of the daily troubles we always carry on. Of course, it's love
lighter.
Yeah, but in a way, they are burden to us as well.
It could be, yeah.
With the time, I love all these trees, so clean, so clear, so free of everything.
Yeah, great. Good, wonderful sharing. And when you talk about this, and I look at these trees, it was probably like winter time. I think it's probably like November. And I drove down this road. November, all the trees are all bare. But spring, it all comes back. So it gives you an idea of how we can actually plant seeds for our future. In the winter, throughout the winter time, or fall times to winter times, we save up all our energy. We gear up. Like the bulbs family, like the tulips, like the daffodils, they save the energy, right? And then when you plant them, put them into the soil, and in February, in March, they just boom, bloom. Give us beautiful gardens. And these trees, I'm sure if I go down that path right now, they probably have all these little fuzzy leaves coming out already. Probably bigger leaves now because it's warmer this week. So this gives you, yes, in one perspective, we are alone, but in another perspective, you see the trees are really storing energy, preparing itself to come back again in spring. So, so sometimes we need to do this. We need to lay dormant, to really lie low, to actually help ourselves to come back even stronger. Yeah? Agree? Yeah. Wonderful. Great. Thank you. You see, I love this. All this stimulation that, you can see different thoughts coming up. And when you, just like when I was teaching just now in meditation, is through the thoughts, you see how your mind works. Through the thoughts, you can see how your practice actually has helped you to progress, or to stay at point zero, or to regress. Right? Those thoughts actually tells you how your practice has been going on. Okay? Great, good. All right. Then the passage that comes with this picture is a very focused mind, a very clear mind, a very wise mind is able to penetrate and pierce through taints and pollutants and find our way home. So, how do we cultivate a very focused mind, a very clear mind, a very wise mind? How? What should we do? Okay, Nora. Unmute, yeah.
Meditate. You're always using that example of the glass full of mud.
Yeah.
We just sit there and meditate, and calm ourselves. It will all settle and become clear. And just keep returning to our breath and being in the present moment.
Good. That's wonderful. Okay, anybody else? Mali, yes. Mali and then Jeremy. Yes.
Keep check on your 5 hindrances.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell us, what are the 5 hindrances?
Okay.
Tanha.
I can. First one is sensual pleasures.
Okay.
Desire, right?
Desire. Okay.
Aversion.
Okay.
Doubt.
The 6th one. Doubt is the 6th one.
Dullness.
Dullness, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I got 4 now, right? I got 4.
You got 3.
Which picture?
So doubt, aversion, aversion.
No, it goes like Kama Chanda, Bhayapada, Tina Midda,
I don't know.
Udalka Kucha.
I like that. I really love this family. One is speaking English and one is speaking Pali. It's just wonderful combination, wonderful couple, Okay. Okay, she doesn't know Pali and you don't know English. That's a perfect combination. No argument at all. No quarrel at home. Okay. Here, he's going to write it down for you. Tanha.
So worry is one. I didn't get that one, yeah. Desire, ill will.
Yeah.
Doubt.
Yeah.
And restlessness.
Restlessness, yes. And drowsiness. Yeah, drowsiness, good. That's wonderful, yeah, 5 of them, yeah. So easy to remember is craving, anger, ignorance, and stupor, and then or agitation, you can call it agitation, irritation, and then drowsiness. Those are the 5 hindrances. Yes, get rid of the 5 hindrances. Good. What else? So how do you get rid of the 5 hindrances? Oh, Jeremy, yes.
Well, I was gonna say, just in our waking moments in our daily life, to practice the right thought, right speech, and right action.
Yeah, that's very good. The Eightfold Noble Path, right? Yeah, and the whole idea of walking on the path of the Eightfold Noble Path is to really eliminate these poisons. Poison of craving, poison of anger, ill will, animosity, and poison of ignorance, and these hindrances of agitation, irritation, and drowsiness, like obstacles. They are all obstacles for us to progress on the path, right? So why would Nora say that? Keep on meditating and bring ourselves back. Why would meditation help? And how does it help? Okay, Laurie?
Well, through meditation and sitting with yourself, you become aware, and in order to deal with a taint or a pollutant, you have to be aware of it first. You have to see it first.
Yes, very good.
And meditation is how you do that.
Yes, very good. Mala, yes.
Also, when you sit with your doubts, they fade away. I think because your ego is softened.
Yes. Good. Only when you can be aware, then your ego will soften. But if you are not aware, and then through meditation, you can still increase your doubt. That doubt can still multiply, right? So that meditation, remember, is always the cultivation of samma sati. It has to be samma. It has to be the correct and the right one. If you are meditating on something else, like as I said, a hunter is a very mindful person. It's a very mindful person. Otherwise, they won't be able to hit their target, right? But that is not samma. That is not sammasati. That is not the right kind of mindfulness, right? So it has to be the right kind of mindfulness. And only the right kind of mindfulness can wash off those taints. Because in the right kind of mindfulness, there are so many qualities in the right kind of mindfulness. There is objectivity. There is balance. There is acceptance. There is embracing. Right? There is acknowledgement. And most of all, there is abandonment. You let go. Right? So there is a lot of qualities behind that mindfulness, really. And this is, so don't you just separate all these qualities. Oh, this is a balance, a quality of balance, and this is a quality of acknowledgement, this is a quality of abandonment. They all interconnected together, intertwined together to actually strengthen each other. Yeah? So we need to remember that. So I want to ask you, you remember the first time when you meditate, or the first course that you attended in meditation, whether it's a 1-day course, half-day course, or 10-day course. Do you remember, is there any moment that you can actually, well, this is actually the question that I put in the reflection, but anyway, since we have gone that far, I may as well go that way. Is there any experience in your first meditation course or meditation class or meditation day that you attended that you feel that there is this momentary focus and clarity? Put up your hand, right hand. Right hand. You see, you're not very mindful. Right hand. Good. And how does that feel at that time? How does that feel? Put up your left hand if you want to talk. Okay, Jeremy.
So a really simple answer for me, sharp.
Sharp.
It feels quite sharp.
Sharp, okay.
Focus.
Focus,
Yes.
yeah. Anybody else? Left hand, please. Laurie. Don't be shy, Laurie.
That moment for me was just very calm and peaceful, but it was very
Yeah.
for the moment.
You really, like, it's gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But even though it's such a tiny, short moment, you still remember it vividly up till today. Why?
It's a profound awareness that
Yeah.
it's possible.
Yeah, and also,
You didn't know.
yeah, of course it's a profound awareness, but why?
Because you didn't know it was possible until you actually did it.
Yeah,
Until you actually experienced it.
yeah.
For me.
Yeah. But why that profound experience still linger on and you can still vividly remember it?
For me, I think it made a big impact because it was very brought in and gathered.
Okay. So it's like really profound experience that like from broad and to narrow down, like really focus. It's like, yeah.
It's you're not scattered anymore.
Yeah, you're not scattered, yes. But why? Why would you remember such profound experience? Versha? Yes, Versha?
For me, it was just the first time I'd ever experienced, it was new. It was the first time in my life I had ever experienced that. And because it was new and it was the first time, I think it stuck with me as something
That's good.
possible. I'd never experienced it before.
It sat with you. It sat with you. It make an imprint into your mind. It stays in there. It's just like when little child, they can remember vividly about their past life. Why? Because there are imprints in their memory. You see? It's been stored in that memory store, in that mental memory storage. But think of some experience that you have had, also profoundly sad, or profoundly angry. But can you vividly remember those profoundly sad and anger the way it happened then? No, right? You see, that's the difference. So that's why we needed more moments of this kind of profound experience, which is really clarity and focus. And I could tell you, at that time, that mind is a wise mind. Just momentary. And the next moment it becomes a stupid mind again. It returns back to that stupidity again, that, that irritated mind again, right? But just for that briefest moment, you have that kind of wisdom, a very clear, focused, and unbiased, and balanced, and non-judgmental, non-discriminating, whatever you want to label it, name it. That's how the mind was at that moment. That's why that memory is so powerful. And it stays in there. So, if you could, every time, if you could recall that memory and not recall the experience, but not to crave for that same experience to happen, but recall that experience and be grateful that you have that experience, because that experience could be a strength to encourage you to go on, to walk onto this path. When you encounter difficulties, no, it's possible. It's possible. I experienced that before, and it has stayed with me, and it's possible that I need to just sit back and relax and start again. Right? Good. So like this road, it is very wide at this end, and the mind is originally, when we first start to learn how to meditate, originally we are actually very, very scattered. Very jumpy, here and there, like a monkey jumping all over the place, like the wild horse, galloping all along the desert, never settle down. But when we start to train and tame it patiently, persistently, with perseverance, with determination, from the very gross mind, for very rough mind, very scattered mind, it starts to settle down a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So this is how we could actually eliminate these poisons, and how we could actually start to develop this focus to really bring the mind in, as Eva said, very, very scattered, and then bring it in. So this, our original mind is actually a very, very clear mind, a very clear and clean mind, very clear, clean, and wise mind. But it's just been too overpowered, overshadowed by all these poisons and hindrances. So as we have already studied in this book, in the Buddha's words, and actually the second chapter is the bringer of light. Remember that beautiful chapter talking about the Buddha as the bringer of light, the Dharma as the bringer of light. And the Buddha said his teachings is so profound. The Wednesday group actually heard this analogy last week. It's so funny. I think it's chapter 2. But anyway, in this chapter, it says the Dharma and the Buddha is the bringer of light, and the Buddha said, my Dharma is so profound that no beings would understand, and when they don't understand, they won't practice. But because of the Diva's request, constant request, and persistent request, the Buddha started to look at the world. And when he looked at the world, he said, there are, if you have the book nearby, just turn to page 71. And he said, I listened to the Brahma's pleading, and out of compassion for beings, I survey the world with the eye of a Buddha. Surveying the world with the eye of a Buddha, I saw beings with different kind of beings, with little dust. and some with much dust. And then he said, I see beings with keen faculties and some with very dull faculties. And I see beings with bad qualities and some with good qualities. And I see beings, some are very easy to teach and some are very difficult to teach. They are just like lotuses in the pond. So we could go back to this picture, the lotuses in this pond. He said, just like blue or red or white lotuses, and some lotuses that are born and grow in the water, thrive immersed in the water without rising out of it. So never come out of the water. And some other lotuses that are born and grow in the water rest on the water surface. You can see, with these beautiful lotuses, some are taller, some are shorter, and some are actually resting, and some don't have the petals anymore. And some other lotuses that are born and grow in the water rise out of the water and stand clear, unwetted by it. So that's what the Buddha said. There are so many different kinds of beings, and we could be any one kind. We could be any beings that are lay low inside the water, being immersed in the water, and never be able to rise out. And sometimes we may be lotuses, lying low, just rise out, but lying low on the surface of the water. But some could be rise out from the water and not being tainted by anything. So, and the Buddha said, covered with dust. People who are covered with dust, we talk about just now, what are those dust in the eyes? So those are the 5 hindrances, right? The poisons. And anything that actually, now is the hay fever season. Oh, it's just show the whole slide. Now it's the hay fever season. We have a lot of dust in our eyes, a lot of glue in our eyes. And so we constantly have to clear our eyes. Why? Because we want to see clear. We want to have a better vision. Can you imagine if our anger, if the anger is dust, and if this tremendous anger is thick layers of dust, can you imagine what would we do if we have such thick layers of dust in our eyes, which are anger? What do we do? What would we do? You could kill. You could verbally abuse. You could kill others, you could kill yourself. I once asked a question to a group of inmates who are all like life sentences. And of course, we know, some of them are actually have killed. They have murdered people. And I didn't ask what were their crime, but I just asked them, how long did it take you to commit your crime, to have that thought and then you committed your crime? And you know what they say? Split second. Just split second. Of course, they could plan. They could have, some of them actually planned for a year, and then when they really wanted to do it, they said, just go and do it. Split second, they committed a crime. So this inmate that I'm still counseling is she was still she actually had this insight that she said, I'm so grateful that I'm in prison this last many years. It allows me to really understand myself. It allows me to see myself. During those past years that, I was still outside, I never realized that I felt so insecure. I had so much fear. And whenever something challenged my fear, something challenged or people challenged my insecurity or my fear, and I would just put up a lot of, what do you call? Protect shields. And if that challenge, and one time that challenge just go overboard. So she committed that crime. And she said, I never knew that until I am inside the prison. She said, until I actually had this opportunity to start to meditate with you, that I realized there was so much fear and insecurity in me that actually manifested in actions when they were challenged. And I asked her, so you think that you have cleared up all that fear and insecurity yet? She said, no. I said, okay, then what happened when you come out again? You'll be out very soon, right? And what happened? She said, I have tools now. I have tools. And I have people that I can trust, whom I can go to ask for help. Which in the old days, I never was able to go and ask for help because I didn't know that I could get help. I didn't know, I felt insecure of telling people because I can't trust them. So, even in the prison, she can still find hope. She found hope and she found brightness. And she said, I'm so grateful to be put in the prison. This is the second person that actually, second inmates that actually we have actually seen, really being grateful to be in prison because then they understand themselves more. Because I constantly ask them to go back and reflect. I mean, some of them, I ask them to go back and reflect on the mentality when they committed a crime. And then we could talk about that and we could meditate on that, we could reflect on that. Of course, only to some of the inmates, but not to everyone. So, so we need to remove those dust, okay? So when those dust are removed, hopefully we will be able to develop this focused mind and to develop this clear mind and to have this insight. I tell you, and this very wise mind is not, I'm going to ask you this question. Okay, can we learn to develop a wise mind? Can we learn to be wise? Through study, through hearing Dharma talks? Can we learn to be truly wise, truly wise. This is a tricky part. Truly wise. Just by studying. Who say no? Put up your right hand. Right hand. Oh, everybody does. Almost everybody. Good. Okay. Yeah. As we talked about in the first class, there are 3 types of way to develop. There are 3 types of wisdom, you can call it. The first type is through
Hearing.
Theories, yes. Like, reading, hearing, hearing and studying, right? Like having the big map right in front of you, studying. And then the second type is through contemplating, yes, studying the map and trying to remember it and absorb all the road signs and everything. And then the third one is practicing and experiencing. That is the most important. And only by experiencing that you could trust the first 2 kind of wisdom that you gather from studying and hearing and then contemplating. Okay? Only by experiencing. Then you find that, oh yes, this is true. I can trust this. Right? You agree? No? Agree? 2 hands up. Okay. Good. Surrender. Good. All right, then we'll be able to penetrate and pierce through those taints and pollutants. So those taints and pollutants, how do these pollutants actually taint us? Because it also leaves an imprint in our mind. That imprint is sort of like a memory, also like what I said about just now. Why is your profound experience in your first meditation, that brief moment of focus is so profound because it leaves an imprint. But also, those pollutants can leave an imprint in our mind. For example, if I've seen enough children or enough inmates that if they have had a very difficult childhood, or even teenager, or even adulthood, that could actually manifest itself in very, very a strained relationship with people, or they could have a lot of trauma, like a PTSD, or they could have a lot of anxiety, depressions, all those things. I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not going to label all those things, but this is how I see from inmates and children. So that is like a stamp on an envelope. You cannot remove them. Can you not remove them? You can. Of course we can. We can rub it off. We can actually, discolor them. But we need to really put a lot of efforts in. Otherwise, there's no way that we can actually rub them off. So who can rub it off for you? You are the only person who can rub it off. People can give you tools. People can give you support, but you are the only one who can actually rub it off. And to rub it off is the most profound thing is really just bring yourself back to this present moment. And ground yourself at any present moment. If you can ground yourself 1 moment, 2 moments, 3 moments, then you are progressing. Why would people keep having this trauma repeating itself all the time because they constantly go back into those imprints, going back into those memories. Keep going back, keep going back. Oh, he's a bad guy, he has hurt me. And oh, he's a good guy, he has helped me. So that imprint, that memory keeps coming back. And we keep what? We keep judging and judging and judging. So if you could just come back, here, right now, get yourself focused here, then it's possible. All right? So it's possible to find our way home. That freedom, that happiness, that compassion, and that wisdom in there. Okay? If you mind, we actually spend about 10 minutes or so answering a couple of questions. Okay? All right, then there is this first question. And this person asks, Shifu, how true is it that love in Buddhist perspective is attachment and leads to suffering? Okay, this question, I think what this student means, this love is the different kind of love. It's a love with lust. A love with lust is definitely going to bring attachments. And anything that actually has such as attachment in it is definitely going to bring on a lot of unhappiness and sufferings and miseries. Why? No matter how good, how loving that relationship is, one day it has to end. It has to end. Why? Because death is inevitable. Separation is inevitable. And when you are so attached to this kind of loving relationship, and when separation arises, it hurts. It brings on so much sufferings, lamentations, and grief. So this is a conditional love, right? A love that is based on condition. You love me, I love you. I love you, you love me. I think what you meant is that kind of love. If you don't love me, okay, let us divorce. That's why when you guys get married, what is your vow? Vow is, well, through what? Rain or shine, whatever? Or
Sickness or health?
Or sickness or health? Not rain or shine? Oh, really? They should say rain or shine. You see, I haven't married, that's why I don't know the vow. Okay, sickness or health? Just sickness or health?
We don't remember what else is there.
Oh, you don't remember? Ever asking what else is there? What else?
Till death.
Huh? Say that again? Oh, till death. Oh, it's a long time. I don't know. I don't know whether that is a real long time, but it could be a long time, right? Till death, wow. That's a big commitment. But anyway, with such a conditional love, there is so much expectation. When there is so much expectation, there could be so much disappointment. Equally, if not more. Right? Yeah. So when that expectation is not fulfilled, suffering, miseries, unhappiness, quarrel will arise, and separation will arise too. So in the Buddha sense, is there something called love? Yes. Unconditional love. We call that compassion. We call that loving kindness, metta and karuna, right? Loving kindness and compassion. That is unconditional. And I remember when I talk about metta in the prison, and one of the guys said, I said, give me some examples of unconditional love. And he said, a mother to a child. I said, a mother to a child is conditional love. And he said, no. I said, yes, because the love of that mother is only to their own child. If a woman can love every child in the world with the same kind of love that she gives to her own child, then that is unconditional. But how many women can have that kind of love? Unconditional love to every child. Right? So, and he sort of was convinced at the end, right? Yeah, he thought, yeah, you're right. Unwillingly, he agreed, yeah, you're right. But that is true. This is really unconditional. Never have one little bit of expectation of return. Whether it's physical gifts or whether it's verbal praise, not one little expectation. That is unconditional love. And unconditional love doesn't bring any sufferings. Because why? In order to have unconditional love, one has to be totally selfless. There is no ego in that person. It's not me giving. I'm not giving it to you. You see, that is anatta. No self, non-self in there. Okay? So, and then this student said, is it wrong to be in love to a Dharma master? Well, it depends on what kind of love you are talking about. If you're talking about this mundane, lusty love, this is terribly wrong. Because the Dharma master is a bridge connecting you to the Dharma. And the Dharma master is to be respected, to be revered, and not to be, and to be trusted, and not to be in this kind of relationship. So if you ever have this kind of thought of this kind of, relationship with your Dharma master, please refrain from that, and also check on yourself. Why? And what kind of love? If this is the really mundane, lusty love, why? I could guess, try to find a replacement. Replacements of a lover, replacement of a boyfriend, replacement of a husband, replacement even of a brother or a father figure in your life. And you're trying to find that replacement. And the Dharma master is not a replacement of any figure. No. The Buddha taught to monks, to nuns, and also to householder too. If you see somebody somebody who are older than you, for example, if I'm a nun, if I see somebody who is older than me, and who is a man, I could take him as a father figure, respect him as a father figure, And who are similar to my age, brothers. Who are younger than me, my little brothers, or even my son, my child. When you start to see it that way, most of the time, unless some people have this kind of really wrong, relationship in the family, most of the time, you won't have this kind of lusty love arise in your mind, right? Because you always have respect and gratitude for your father. And you always have, all gratitude and appreciation of your brothers. And you always have loving care for your children. Right? So this is how you can actually start to look at your Dharma master. Or any males that come into your life. Dharma master is, no, you cannot start to look at Dharma master that way. You have to look at Dharma master as Dharma master, not replacement. All right? Okay, so that is the first question, is really, if you try to find this replacement, it's going to be very, very unhealthy, and you're not going to actually benefit from anything. Actually, you're going to ruin yourself and planting unwholesome seeds, okay? And the second question is, I don't know whether this Kit Young is me or somebody else, okay? I don't know. But this question, she said, I have heard some talk from Venerable Kit Young. It was reference to where to put the ashes after cremation. And this Venerable said that throwing the ashes into the sea is actually a very bad idea. Could you please highlight me the reason? I agree with this Venerable Kit Young, not to actually throw the ashes into the ocean, because the sea has its own ecology, right? The ocean life has its own ecology, and same is the river, and same is the swampy area. They all have its own ecology, ecosystem. I said ecosystem. So, and ashes are like calciums, right? And so, if you throw it in, those fish or those sea, whatever you call them, sea beings, they eat them. They may not be able to digest, like the plastic, like our mask and everything that goes into the ocean, and they tangle in the intestine and kill the whales and kill dolphins and kill sharks and kill big turtles, sea turtles and everything, because it's not their diet. So that's why, even when people letting go of lives like Fong Sang, you need to know what kind of things to let them into, what kind of environment. You don't put a salty water fish into a river, because they'll kill them. Or you don't put what do you call that? 嗰隻龜仔，嗰條龜咪叫龜咩龜仔？嗰隻咩龜啊？隻龜 some kind of little turtle. 巴西龜啊 Brazilian turtle. Little ones, they are very fierce. When you release them into rivers or ponds, they disturb the whole ecosystem. So very, 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 very careful. So that's why I don't agree people throwing in the ashes into the ocean. And where is the best place to put the ash? 塵歸塵，土歸土啊. Dust go back to the earth. Earth go back to the earth. Bone meal, our body, when it's being cremated, is bone meal. Go back into the trees. Just spread it along any trees. If you have a garden, just put it underneath the tree. If you don't have a garden, go to some crematorium. They have special rose gardens, and anywhere that they allow you to actually spread your ashes there. Do we have that in Canada? Rose gardens? Oh. In crematorium, in cemetery, do they have rose gardens in cemetery that you can spread your ash? No? Yes? Oh, some says, you are all Canadian, and some say yes and some say no. So half and half? Okay.
Different cities.
Oh, different cities. Oh, Vancouver, they have it, right?
I don't know, in Coquitlam we do.
Oh, in Coquitlam. So everybody goes to Coquitlam. Huh? Ask KS to put it. KS, you have to outlive all of us. Okay.
Collection of ashes.
Yeah, collection of ashes. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I have answered this. So my idea is plant it under the tree. Yes, plant it under the tree, or just spread it on the tree. Just spread it on the soil. Okay. So those are the two questions. Let us dedicate our merits. May these blessings extend to all, that we with all the other living beings together will attain the Buddha way. May more and more people will encounter the wise words of the Buddha, study them, understand them, and practice them, and through their own experience liberate themselves from those entanglements and be truly happy and free and peaceful. Wonderful.